No one thinks weakness begins in the legs. Not when you get sick. But when you start hesitating to get up from your chair. When you hold the handrail tighter going down the stairs. When you stop trusting your own body. The scariest part? It doesn't happen in a day. It creeps in little by little, and by the time you realize it, it might be too late. But there's a way out, and it starts right here, in this very video. There's a quiet truth happening inside the bodies of millions of people over 50, and no one is warning you about it. It's not heart disease. It's not diabetes. It's the silent disappearance of leg strength, the very power that once carried you through every path in life, now slowly slipping away, bit by bit, every single day. Do you notice it? The stairs that make you hesitate. Getting up from the couch feels harder than it used to. Or even just walking across the room, you feel yourself losing balance like never before. And then people tell you, just go for a walk. But here's what I, a U.S. health specialist with over 30 years of experience working with people over 50, want to tell you honestly. Walking is not enough. It can't restore the muscle groups that are weakening the fastest, your glutes, thighs, calves, and stabilizing muscles that keep you balanced and independent. So what can? I'll show you. Simple exercises you can do at home, no equipment needed, are the key you've been looking for. Welcome to Everyday Vital Path. If you care about building long-term, sustainable health after 50, hit subscribe. It truly motivates me to create more meaningful, life-changing videos for you. Now, here's a question for you. If you had to choose one thing that scares you most about getting older, what would it be? A. Losing your independence when moving. B. Losing your memory and clarity. Comment below with A or B. I want to know what weighs most on your mind. These 7 simple exercises will help you rebuild your leg strength after 50. Number 1. Farmer's Walk, Di Bo Mang Vat Nong. Have you ever noticed that as we get older, everything just starts to feel heavier? Opening a jar lid. Carrying 2 grocery bags out of the store. Or simply walking steadily without wobbling. I once had a patient, he was 62 years old, a man who used to climb mountains in his youth. But recently, he told me, "Doctor, I don't trust my hands anymore. Even stepping up the porch makes me afraid I might fall." I looked at him, and I understood. It wasn't just about muscle loss. It was about losing control, losing freedom. And that's when I introduced him to a simple but powerful exercise, the farmer's walk. Which literally means, walking like a farmer. It sounds humble, doesn't it? But imagine this. You're holding 2 buckets of water, your shoulders pulled back, your spine straight, your eyes fixed forward. Every step you take doesn't just strengthen your arms or shoulders. It strengthens your core stability, your balance, your determination, and your inner sense of control. Have you ever felt like you've lost that sense of control? If you have, then this exercise might just be the starting point you've been looking for. Number 2. Step-ups, Byuk Len Bac Tang. I want you to imagine this. In front of you is a small step, just about the height of your hand. Yet somehow, you hesitate to step up. Not because it's too high, but because your legs, the same legs that once carried you through so many roads in life, now feel weaker, shakier, and less confident than before. One of my patients, Linda, 67 years old, once told me, "Doctor, I'm not afraid of getting old. I'm afraid that every time I climb the stairs, I have to hold on to the wall. As if I were learning to walk all over again." And I understood her. Aging doesn't take away our legs. It takes away our sense of control, our steadiness. And sometimes, that quiet pride we once carried inside. That's why I love the step-ups exercise, simply stepping up onto a stair. No expensive machines. No gym memberships. Just one sturdy step, and a little patience each day. Because every time you step up, you're doing more than training your legs. You're regaining your inner strength, your spiritual height. Have you ever found yourself out of breath after just a few steps of stairs? If so, maybe it's time to start again. One strong, steady step at a time. Number 3. Isometric glute bridge. I once asked one of my older patients, "How's your back feeling these days?" She sighed and said, "It's not my back anymore, doctor. I feel like I'm breaking in half every time I stand up from a chair." Have you ever felt like that? A simple movement, going from lying to sitting, or sitting to standing, suddenly feels like a challenge. But you know what? Most of those lingering back pains, especially in people over 50, don't actually come from the spine. They come from weakened glute muscles. It may sound surprising, but I've seen it hundreds of times over more than 3 decades of practice. And the exercise I always recommend? The isometric glute bridge. Holding your hips up in place. It looks simple, but it's a quiet remedy for your lower back, your posture, and your body's entire core stability. When you squeeze your glutes and lift your hips, you're not just lifting your body. You're lifting your belief that your body is still strong, still capable of healing. As long as you give it a chance. I want you to try it. No rush. No pressure. Just one small step toward the strength you once thought you'd lost. Number 4. Bulgarian split squat. I want you to picture this. You're walking up the stairs. With each step, one leg feels strong and stable. But the other trembles, weak and uncertain. As if it's being left behind. That situation isn't rare at all. One of my patients, Richard, 70 years old, a former PE teacher, once told me, "I didn't realize I was off balance, until I started falling." Have you ever felt like one side of your body just can't keep up? The truth is, after 50, muscle imbalance between the two legs becomes very common, and very dangerous. It quietly throws off your stride, disrupts your balance. And one small fall could change everything. That's why I often teach my patients the Bulgarian split squat. A variation of the squat where one leg is placed behind you on a chair or bench. This exercise doesn't just rebuild strength in each leg individually. It retrains your coordination and reinforces the stability of your hips and knees. It helps you climb stairs without grabbing the railing, and walk confidently without fear every time you change direction. If you've ever hesitated to bend down and tie your shoes because you were afraid of losing your balance, then maybe this is exactly where you should start. Number 5. Wall squat. I want you to think back to the last time you stood up from a chair. Without pushing off with your hands. Without wobbling. Without having to lean your whole body forward as if pulling a heavy rock along with you. One of my patients, Grace, 74 years old, once shared with me, wearing a faint, bittersweet smile, "I miss the days when I could stand up without thinking. Now I actually have to plan it out, even count down in my head before I get up." Have you ever felt that way? That's not age knocking at your door. That's your body whispering that your thighs, glutes, and core muscles are quietly growing weaker, little by little, every single day. And that's when I tell them to try something beautifully simple. The wall squat. No running, no jumping. No pressure. Just lean your back against the wall, slide down slowly as if sitting into an invisible chair, and hold. This quiet exercise rebuilds a quiet kind of strength, endurance. So that not only can you stand up more easily, but you can also walk with confidence. As if your body still remembers the vitality of your younger years in every single movement. Number 6. Standing calf raises. I want you to imagine this. You're walking down a familiar street. And suddenly, your steps become unsteady. Not because you slipped. Not because someone bumped into you. But simply because, you can't keep your balance the way you used to. One of my patients, Harold, 68 years old, once sat across from me and said softly, "I don't understand, why walking in a straight line, even for a short distance, makes me feel uneasy. It's like my legs just aren't as trustworthy as they once were." I understand that feeling. After 50, many people think weakness comes from their knees or hips. But in truth, there's a forgotten muscle group that plays a crucial role, the calves. Did you know your calves don't just help you walk? They actually work like tiny pumps, pushing blood back up toward your heart every time you lift your heels. That's why I always recommend standing calf raises. A simple, yet incredibly powerful exercise. With just one gentle lift, as if reaching forward toward something ahead. You're reminding your body how to find balance again. How to stand tall. How to move with the same steadiness and vitality you once had. Have you ever tried it? If not, maybe today is the perfect day to start. Number 7. Stationary march. I want you to imagine this. It's early morning. You wake up, place your feet on the floor. And your whole body just feels sluggish. Not painful, not sore. Just like your body hasn't quite switched on yet. One of my patients, Ellen, 65 years old, once told me, "I don't understand why I always feel like I'm standing still, even though I move around every day." I smiled and shared something with her. Sometimes, you don't need to go anywhere to start moving again. And that's when I introduced her to the stationary march, marching in place. It sounds simple, but in truth, it's a powerful way to wake up your body. It warms your heart, awakens your breath, loosens your knees and lower back. And gets your blood flowing stronger with every small, invisible step. Have you ever felt like you're living, but not really moving? Stationary march doesn't require space, or equipment, only your willingness to begin. Because every step, even one taken in place, can be the very first step toward truly feeling alive again in your own body. When we're young, we take standing up, walking, and climbing stairs for granted. But after 50, every step starts to carry small signals, slower, weaker, less steady. The truth is, this decline doesn't arrive with a loud noise. It comes quietly, like a thief, slowly stealing away your control, your confidence, and eventually, your independence. The wonderful thing is, the human body has an incredible ability to recover, at any age. The real question is, will you choose to act early, or wait until weakness takes away the person you used to be? The 7 simple exercises you just watched aren't just movements. They're a declaration that you refuse to lose the strength in your legs or the freedom of your own body. They're a reminder that even 15 minutes a day can help. You take back control, one step at a time. The deeper lesson here is, never underestimate small movements. Because those small things are what create a great life, climbing to the 2nd floor without holding the railing, walking with your grandkids without feeling tired, standing up from a chair with stability. That's not just about exercise, it's about living with quality. I have one simple question for you. When will you choose to do one of these 7 exercises each day? A. Early in the morning. B. In the evening before bed. Comment A or B below, let's see which one fits your routine best. And don't forget to subscribe to Everyday Vital Path, It truly motivates me to keep creating more meaningful videos that help you stay strong, active, and independent every day.